Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am just Mike. You are watching and you are listening to episode number 40 of the Rock On Wild Show. Not only you are listening to episode number 40, it is also the first day of October. It is October the 1st when this episode will be aired, but as of this recording, it is September the 18th, 2025. I like to do these shows in advance before they get released in a couple of weeks. And this is the thing that I love to do. I love to do a show, a variety show, where we talk about stuff like wrestling, movies, and music, and all that sorts of stuff. Now, if you are new to this channel, and if you haven't done so yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below this very video. You can also like or dislike episode 40 of the Rock Out Wild Show. And you can also share this video and spread the word to everyone that you know, from your family, to your friends, to your coworkers, to your acquaintances. Tell everyone about the Rock Out Wild Show. I am your host, Just Mike, and as you see from the title of this very video, in a way, this is sort of a review, but I'm going to do this with a little bit of a twist. Now, the movie Serenity came out 20 years ago yesterday. It was on September the 30th, 2005. When Serenity was released at the movie theater. And let me tell you something. This movie is my favorite movie of all time. Or at least it's in the conversation of my favorite movies of all time as well. Is it one of the best movies objectively? You can argue. Is it one of the best overall when it comes to not only the 2000s or any other decade? Again, you can argue. So this is what I'm going to do. For the main event, for episode 40 of the Rock Out Wild Show, I'm going to give you my 10 reasons why I love the movie Serenity. And just before I hit that record button, actually, the record button is already recorded, since I'm actually talking about a variety of topics as of this point. So, what do we have on the docket besides the main event? Well, I'm going to look at on this day in the world of music, wrestling, film, and television for October the 1st. And I will also react to a movie review called The Guest, starring Dan Stevens. Now, before I get to the kickoff, that is this movie review reaction that I've done a good number of years ago, over a decade ago, I am going to show you all something first. Now, I received something in the mail roughly around September the 17th of 2025, and I'm going to show you what that is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up this webcam, and you could probably guess what I have just by looking at the visual of this right here. Right now it is dark outside. It is 8:23 p.m. or 8:24 p.m. as of right now. It's dark outside, but guess what? I have light. Now you're probably wondering, how are you doing this, Mike? Well, I received a package from the one, the only Galvanic. Shout out to you if you know who that is, and I hope he's watching this right now. I have a new light to record all my videos and future Rock Out Wild episodes, and it's right over here, right in front of me. And these are some of the things that I can do with this light here. I can change the color of the, so to speak, if you can tell the difference. I could dim the light as well, as you can see. and I can turn it off actually, and I can turn it back on and all that sorts of stuff. I'm going to set it to this, or is this a little bit too light? Or this, or this. I think I'll go with this. Okay, so that is the thing that I have that came in the mail not too long ago. And as of right now, let's take a look at on this day for the world of. Actually, we're doing that later. We are doing on this day later. But before I get to all of that and more, let's react to the old movie review of mine that I have up right now called The Guest. So what I'm going to do is present, share screen, make sure that audio is on, and let's get this ball rolling. Let's get a full screen and let's react to this review in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
You can throw in as many cliches as you want in this movie, like this movie has done, and it just would not matter because this was outstanding.
I'm clapping. That's a good sign.
Hey, what is up, all movie fans out there in the movieverse? Welcome to the Mike McRock Movie Review Show. Right now, I'm about to review a movie called The Guest, and this movie was supposed to come to my local theater, and I never really got to see it. And I should have seen this in the theater because this movie was so outstanding. And this movie is about a soldier who introduces to himself to the Patterson family, claiming to be a friend of their son who died in action. And after the young man is welcomed into their home, bodies start to show up. These accidental deaths seem to
Mm.
occur around his presence. And this
Mm.
movie stars Dan Stevens as the guest, playing David. And what I really like what this movie done with the Dan Stevens character is that they introduce him as this likable gentleman
Yeah.
who seems to be lost and doesn't know exactly where to go. But until you realize, something is really off with him, and you really don't know if you trust him fully. And so this movie played on that very well. There's an
Did.
old Adam Sandler song called His Hobby is Moira. Oh, yeah, he's a likable guy, but there's
Mm.
just something going on mentally inside his head that just seems very off.
Yep.
And Dan's performance was really great. He was almost, and I hence the word almost, on the level of Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler in the whole psychotic aspect to his character.
He's up there. He's up there.
So, even though, with that said, he really did deliver the goods, much like this movie itself.
I want to point out something too as well. With the new James Bond stuff coming out now, with Denise Villeneuve being the director, I hope that Dan Stevens gets the role of James Bond. As of this point, I don't know if they announced it yet, but we'll see. But I hope Dan Stevens gets that role.
And one of the movies that I would compare this movie to is Drive. It's very
No,
similar in
very,
style. It's
very
very
similar.
stylish. It has a similar soundtrack to it that's very symphonic, something music you hear from the 80s. So, yeah, this movie is going to get a lot of comparisons from Drive. I do think it's a little bit better than Drive, only because this movie done a little bit more than I thought it was going to.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the horror aspect thrown into it, it just made it more tasteful. I felt like that this movie, even though it came across as an all-out action movie, which it was, there was a little bit of an element of horror in this movie that felt like that this movie was just a little bit more tasteful.
Yep.
And what I also like are the little things in this movie. I like the slow tension, and even though this movie was 94 minutes long, you can get away with rushing certain things in the plot in this movie, which I do understand. But what I also like what this movie done was that it gave us a little bit of a slow burn and build up in tension, in specifically to the main character in this movie. I like how he uses the facial expressions in this movie were top notch, psychotic, and came across as excellent while I was watching this on screen. And you were just kind of waiting for when is this psychotic uh, beast going to unleash in this movie? When is he going to be embroiled in a fight or
Yeah.
take someone out or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And when you get it, it doesn't disappoint in that aspect at all. This movie delivered amazing things in this movie. And there was also a Halloween element that I thought that was well done as well, and it was
Sure.
used very well, especially at the end where you have this Halloween maze that these people had to go through to get to point A to point B. And this movie delivered a really good Halloween aspect to this movie as well.
I'm going to pause it there. Speaking of Halloween, I might cook something up. More on that in weeks to come.
My only little nitpick with this movie, and this is very, very minor, so it really didn't deprive me from
Mm-hmm.
watching this amazing movie at all, is that when they cut to scenes that involve the government and they're talking about conspiracies and experiments and blah, blah, blah,
Blah
I
blah
kind of
blah.
feel like that deviated the tone only a little, but like I said,
Sure.
this really didn't deprive me at all. And I feel like that the makers of this movie really have a lot of respect to old 80s action movies, and they done a really good job of making this movie feel like a throwback to the 80s.
Yeah.
And to me, this felt like a surprise. I didn't expect this movie going into it to be great,
Mm-hmm.
and it was outstanding. This is a
Damn right.
sleeper.
Damn right.
So, with that said, I'm going to say that The Guest delivered 93 points
Oh.
out of 100. And the
Oh.
reason being simple and effective.
Damn
And if
straight.
you saw this movie, what did you think about it? Feel free to comment below and tell me what did you think about The Guest. And also, you can hit that subscribe button down below this video as well to get McRocked.
Yeah, so that was my old movie review back in 2014, I do believe. Yep, called the Guest. You know what I should say before I clicked on this movie review, I usually want to guess what my points is going to be, and I was guessing somewhere around in the 80s, like an 85 or 86. Holy crap! I actually gave this a 93 out of 100. Outstanding. I would love to watch this movie again, just to see Dan Stevens and just to see everything that all unfolds with the story and Dan Stevens acting and the characters and all that sorts of stuff. That's a movie I would love to watch again. If I could find that movie somewhere, I would definitely watch it again and see if my review for that movie still holds up. I gave that movie a high praise, and I pretty much expected what I expected with 93 points out of 100. One of the one of the very few movies so far I reacted to that got a 90 plus in points. So that was my take and my reaction to my old movie review called The Guest, starring the one, the only Dan Stevens, and I hope he becomes the next James Bond. Please make it happen. Now, let's get into some of the stuff that happened on this day in the world of movies and television, wrestling. But to kick things off, we're going to kick things off with music. So we're going to present share screen. And let's take a look at what happened on this day for October 1st in the world of music. As you see, there's a picture of Bob Dylan. Come gather round, everyone, wherever they roam. For the times they are changing. Huh. Everybody must get stoned. Okay, I'll quit. I'll quit right now. Anyway, on October 1st, 1965, Bob Dylan introduced guitarist Robbie Robertson, organist Gareth Hudson, bassist Rick Danko, pianist Richard Manuel, and drummer Lee Von Helm as his new crew touring band during a show at New York City's Carnegie Hall. I'm going to pause right there. If you know a certain group that has the names Robbie Robertson and Lee Von Helm, 1,000 points to you. And let's just say they go down on Cripple Creek. The group previously known as the Hawks was recommended to Dylan by John Hammond Jr. for the famed singer-songwriter's first tour, Going Electric. We all know how that turned out, didn't we? The band, as they would become known, you see it right there, performed alongside Dylan until 1967 and became one of the most renowned backing bands of all time. In 1970, the man himself, Jimi Hendrix, was laid to rest at Greenwood Cemetery in Renton, Washington, nearly 2 weeks after his death on September the 18th, ironically, the day of this recording. Oh my God, that is very ominous. I did not anticipate that. Honestly, God, I did not see that coming. Amongst the mourners at his funeral were Miles Davis, Eric Burdon, members of Derek and the Dominoes, and Johnny Winter. In 1975, Booker T and the MG's drummer Al Jackson Jr. was shot and killed by intruders in his Memphis home. At 39 years old, which is ironically my age as well, Jackson was one of the most revered drummers in soul music, who played on hits by Sam and Dave, Otis Redding, Carla Thomas, and Albert King. With the MGs, Jackson also wrote and played alongside Al Green and performed as a session drummer for the likes of Elvis Presley, Rod Stewart, Eric Clapton, and Bill Withers. In 2007, the Spice Girls' eagerly awaited reunion concert at London O2's Arena sold out within 38 seconds. More than 1 million fans attempted to get tickets for the group's first reunion. Due to high demand, 3 more London dates were added to the group's world tour. In 2018, French-American singer, actor, activist, and diplomat Charles Aznavour died at age 94. Dubbed Francis Frank Sinatra, Aznavour was known for his hit single She, which reached number 1 on the UK charts in 1974. During his long-running career, Aznavour sold over 180 million records and recorded more than 1,200 songs. In 1982, John Cougar Mellencamp went to number 1 on both the US album and singles charts with American Fool and Jack and Diane, respectively. American Fool, released under the moniker John Cougar, was the singer-songwriter's 5th studio album, while the song, which marks the 2nd single off the LP, following Hurt So Good, became his biggest hit. According to Mellencamp, Jack and Diane was inspired by the Tennessee Williams film Sweet Bird of Youth and focused on an interracial relationship. However, due to pressure from record executives, the artist was forced to change the lyrics, instead making it about 2 teenagers. And the times, they are changing. And in 1967, the first edition of BBC Radio 1's Top Gear aired in the UK. Presented by John Peel and Pete Drummond, the show featured the move Traffic, Pink Floyd, Tim Rose, and Tomorrow featuring Keith West. And then we have some birthdays that happened in the world of music. We have Julie Andrews, born on 1935. We got Herb Frame from Peaches and Herb, born in 1942. Born in 1945, October 1st, is Donny Hathaway. Born in 1947 is Rob Davis from Mud. Born in 1955, Howard Hewitt from Shalimar. Born on 1974, Keith Duffy from Boyzone, and Dizzy Rascal, born on this day, October 1st, 1985. Those are all the things that happened in the world of music for October the 1st. Now let's take a look at some of the things that happened on this day in the world of professional wrestling for October the 1st. Let's see what we have here in 1993. Eastern Championship Wrestling presented NWA Bloodfest Part 1. The show, headlined by Terry Funk and Jimmy Superfly Snuka, was the first ECW booked by the future owner, Paul Heyman. It also saw the ECW debuts of both Sabu and the Tasmaniac in a match against each other. In the year 2000, the Now Extreme Championship Wrestling presented the Anarchy Rules pay-per-view in front of 4,600 people from the Roy Wilkins Auditorium in St. Paul, Minnesota. In the main event, Jerry Lynn defeated Justin Credible to life in the ECW Heavyweight Championship. In 2005, TNA Impact debuted on Spike TV, marking the start of the most successful period in the history of the company. Starting in an unfavorable 11 p.m. Saturday time slot, the program moved to a strong Thursday night premiere slot within 6 months. And that was the best move they ever actually done. This show saw the debut of Team 3D, the Dudley Boys, and the return of Kevin Nash. Jeff Hardy and Rhino went to a no contest in the main event. In 2005, Samoa Joe took on Kenta Kobashi in the main event of a Ring of Honor show in New York City. Many longtime wrestling fans consider this classic to be the best match in ROH history. In 2007, John Cena, I know what someone's going to say, suffered a torn pectoral muscle in a match with Mr. Kennedy on Monday Night Raw. The injury would see him vacate the WWE Championship after 380 days, marking the end of the longest reign with that title since Hulk Hogan's initial 4-year run in the 80s. In 2010, WWE SmackDown aired its first episode on Sci-Fi, the NBC Universal channel that had previously been the base of WWE's ECW brand. In 2020, on NXT UK, Pete Dunne was the special guest referee for a first-round match in the Heritage Cup tournament. Noam Dar defeated Alexander Wolf 2-1 in the 5th round. And we also have some birthdays for October the 1st. We have Robbie E., born in 1983. Born in 1961 is Rico Constantino. And Hector Guerrero, born on October 1st, 1954. And when it comes to wrestlers that passed away 3 years ago today, Antonio Inoki. When it comes to wrestlers from Japan, he is pretty much the Hulk Hogan of Japan, of Japanese wrestling. Those are all the things that happened on this day in the world of professional wrestling. Now let's take a look at all the things that happened on this day for October 1st in the world of film and television, and this will be the final thing for this installment. In 1941, Hugh Martin and Ralph Blaine musical Best Foot Forward, starring June Allison, with choreography by Gene Kelly, opens at the Ethel Barrymore Theater in New York City, as it runs for 326 performances. And don't mind the sirens out there. In 1952, first ultra-high frequency UHF television station, Portland, Oregon. In 1953, KJEO TV Channel 47 in Fresno, California begins broadcasting. In 1953, KYTV Channel 3 in Springfield, Missouri begins broadcasting. Also in 1953, WAE TV Channel 6 in Knoxville, Tennessee begins broadcasting. And also in 1953 is WREX-TV Channel 13 in Rockford, Illinois begins broadcasting. In 1955, Jackie Gleason's sitcom The Honeymooners debuts on CBS, replacing his variety series. Production ends after 39 episodes. In 1955, WOAR TV Channel 5 in Maziega, Puerto Rico begins broadcasting. In 1960, I think I have that right, by the way. In 1960, KCBY TV Channel 11 in Coos Bay, Oregon begins broadcasting. Correct me if I didn't get the state right. Uh, I should say, correct me if I did not get the state right there. In 1961, KGIN TV Channel 11 in Grand Island begins broadcasting. In 1961, again, in 1961, WOLO TV Channel 25 in Columbia, South Carolina begins broadcasting. In 1961, WYAH TV Channel 27 in Portsmouth, Virginia begins broadcasting. In 1962, American singer Barbra Streisand signs her first recording contract with Columbia. In 1962, Johnny Carson hosts first The Tonight Show on NBC. Guests includes Rudy Vell, Tony Bennett, Mel Brooks, and Joan Crawford. In 1962, sitcom The Lucy Show starring Lucille Ball, the follow-up to I Love Lucy, premieres on CBS TV. In 1962, WEDH TV Channel 24 in Hartford, Connecticut begins broadcasting. In 1964, WSJU TV Channel 18 in Carolina begins broadcasting. In 1964, WTSJ TV Channel 18 in San Juan, Puerto Rico begins broadcasting. In 1964, WWAY TV Channel 3 in Wilmington, North Carolina begins broadcasting. In 1966, WAEO, now WJFW TV Channel 12 in Rhinelander, WY, Wisconsin, begins broadcasting. In 1967, KBFI, now KDAF TV Channel 33 in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, begins. In 1968, cult zombie film Night of the Living Dead, directed by George A. Romero, starring Dwayne Jones and Judith O'Dea, premieres in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. In 1971, Walt Disney World opens in Bay Lake, Florida. In 1974, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre horror film premieres in director Tobe Hooper's hometown, Austin, Texas, in the U.S. In 1992, Cartoon Cable Network premieres. In 2017, former NFL star O.J. Simpson is released from Nevada Lovelock Prison after less than 9 years of detention of his 33-year sentence for armed robbery and kidnapping. But did he do it? And did the glove fit? These are the questions we ponder. In 2018, Bluey, the animated Australian children's television series, premieres on ABC Kids. In 2019, Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, sued British newspaper The Mail on Sunday, claiming it published her private letter. In 2022, Ringo Starr postpones 2 dates of his All-Star Band tour due to illness. And those are all the things that happened for October 1st in the world of film and television. And I do believe it is about time that we get to the main event of episode number 40 of the Rock On Wild Show. Now, before I actually get into the movie itself, I'm going to show you all something. I have the movie right here. That is the movie called Serenity. So, Serenity is this movie came out 2005, 20 years ago. It was released at the theater on September the 30th. This is a space western film written and directed by Joss Whedon in his feature directorial debut. And the film is a continuation of Whedon's short-lived 2002's Fox television series Firefly, which takes place after the events of the final episode. Um, which it has the same cast reprising their roles, including Nathan Fillion, Alan Tudyk, Adam Baldwin, and Summer Glau, with Chiwetel Ejiofor stars as a new character. And the story follows the crew of Serenity, pretty much. So that is the basic hypnosis of. Well, I'm going to get to uh, all the stuff that I love about this movie called Serenity, and these are my 10 reasons why I love this film. Reason number one, it is obviously the characters in this. In this, we have Nathan Fillion as Captain Malcolm Reynolds. We have Gina Torres as Zoe. We have Alan Tudyk as Wash. Adam Baldwin as Jane. Jewel State as Kaylee. Sean Mayer as Simon. Summer Glau as River. We have Ron Glass as Shepherd Book. Marina Barakan as Anara. And pretty much this movie, uh, to me, so that's pretty much reason number one. It is the characters. We have the captain of the ship, obviously, that's Captain Malcolm Reynolds. I really love his character. The way I see it, he is the star of the show here. You know, he, he's brass, he's straightforward, he's no BS kind of guy, and really just a likable guy. He is a bit closed off, but when it comes to the crew of the ship, he loves his crew. He thinks highly of them, so to speak. And we got Zoe as Gina Torres. She's obviously a major badass in this movie, and both of them, both Mel and Zoe, they have a background where they were in the war, like way back when, and they were partners, and so they already have that that best friend kind of chemistry going. Zoe's husband is Wash. Wash is the pilot, played by Alan Tudyk. And, that's kind of where the comedic release comes into it. He's a funny guy at heart. Adam Baldwin is Jane, one of my favorite characters. He's the muscle of the group. Need I say more? Kaylee, played by Joel State, she's pretty much the engineer of the ship. She knows her way around Serenity, which is the name of the ship as well. Anara, played by Marina Baccarin, she's the companion. When someone wants to, well, spend some quality time with someone, she's the one that you would go to. And of course, Shipper Book, played by Ron Glass. Uh, he's pretty much the elder statesman of the ship. He also has a past. There's a mystery behind Shipper Book, which I wish we always had the answers to, but sometimes some things should remain a mystery, and that's one of them. I like Ron Glass in this movie, and I will get to that as well. Summer Glau as River. She's quiet, she's shy, she's timid, but there's another side to her that comes out once a certain thing happens in this movie. I will also get to that as well. Pretty much my reason number one why I love this movie is because of those characters that I mentioned. Reason number two why I love this movie, Serenity, is the story. Now, this is kind of like a sort of like a post-apocalyptic type of movie. It's set in 2017, and the story follows the crew of Serenity, a Firefly-class spaceship whose captain and first mate are veterans, like I mentioned earlier, of the Unification War, and having fought on the losing Independence side against the Alliance. Their lives of smuggling and cargo running are interrupted by a psychic passenger who harbors a dangerous secret. That person is River, played by Summer Glau. And I love this story. It's simple, it's straightforward, it's to the point. It doesn't deviate anywhere. It doesn't dangle any loose threads at all. This movie takes you on a journey from beginning to end, and it does not let go. And which brings me to the pacing of this movie. Reason number three why I love Serenity is of the pacing. This movie is 2 hours long. It feels like it goes 90 minutes because you're totally invested in this, and you really don't need to do a whole heck of a lot in terms of the story in this movie, other than let's get to the direction that we need to go with this film. And it's a movie that I will put on the rewatch. This is reason number four. This movie is so rewatchable. I've watched this movie countless, endless times. I don't know how many times I watched this movie. It has to be in the 50s or 60s at this point. I mean, this movie came out 20 years ago. I definitely watched this film a lot. I'll probably watch it again once the anniversary comes around or somewhere close to it. So yeah, uh, this movie is easily digestible. It pretty much goes at a really good pace, and it does not let up. It, like I said, it does not let go. Reason number five why I love Serenity is because of the performances from the cast. Nathan Fillion, Gina Torres, Alan Tudyk, Adam Baldwin again. They're all really good. I think the one big misstep is the way they handle Alan Tudyk's character close to the end of it, where they just have him die, and it just felt like a random cut off, like a random death. But at least Zoe got to be a little bit of a badass afterwards. I will give it that. And then we got the science fiction elements here. Reason number six why I love Serenity is because it's a science fiction movie. I love the look of the ship in this movie. It kind of looks like a firefly. It looks like a bug. And I love the way outer space looks, all the planets and stuff. When they go to the planet Miranda, which I'll talk about in just a little bit here, uh, I love that they go to these different directions, and they get a message from Sarah Paulson, who was in this movie for a little bit, how the Reavers were created, and all that science fiction elements from the guns they use, the technology they use, all of it is just top notch, tremendous. Reason number seven is the cinematography. I mean, there's a lot of cool shots in this, from the wide angle to the uh, big scope and size type of shots, the close ups. And then we got reason number eight is the action sequences. There's two particular action sequences that I absolutely love in this movie. They are River kicking ass. There's one particular one where she's in a bar, she gets the code, Miranda, and she just goes all out. She fights with everyone. And then someone has to come in and say the safe word, which makes River pass out. But that action scene is tremendous. And there's another one at the very end where River goes all out on the Reavers. She's battling every single one of them, while Malcolm is battling the operative, who I will talk about in just a little bit as well. That fight sequence is tremendous. So yeah, the action in this movie is really, really, really outstanding. A reason number so yeah, that was seven and eight. Number nine is the main villain. That is the operative, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor. This guy is a firm, true believer that River needs to die. And he is firm on that belief, and he will kill anyone, even kids, even little kids. He will kill kids to get to River and kill her as well. This guy is a cold hearted, evil, twisted son of a you know what. And he's also kind of calm and cool, collected throughout most of the film. And there's one particular moment I have to talk about where the Reavers are following the ship Serenity, and then the operative sees this happening. He is worried now. He's like, target the Reavers, target the Reavers, somebody fire! So you have that great moment with Chiwetel Ejiofor in this movie. He is fantastic. Reason number 10 is the comedy. And like I said, Alan Tudyk as Wash has that comedy element as well. There's a lot of good one-liners in here. I swallowed a bug from River. Uh, the way humor is used in this movie, it's not labeled a comedy. And the best movies that are not labeled comedy are the ones that are the best comedies. And this is one of them. They're just perfectly timed one-liners. The Joss Whedon has a certain humor when you know it's him writing a movie. You know when you see it. I will talk about the whole thing about going back to the story here about Miranda and what they actually have to do. And I mentioned it earlier. Uh, they get the message from Sarah Paulson that how the Reavers were created. But the reason why they go to Miranda was because River was sent a code to maybe the Alliance, and which turns out to be that awesome action sequence in the bar, and then they go from that to River trying to locate and figure out where this planet Miranda is and what happened here. What happened in this planet called Miranda? Well, everyone just stopped doing everything. People stopped going to work. They stopped drinking. They stopped eating. They stopped walking. And the way that they died, it's like they never done a thing. It was pretty much the G packs that the Alliance put in to make everyone pretty much utopia, like not showing signs of aggression and all that stuff. But then there's the opposite effect where people have showed aggression, and that's where the creation of the Reavers come in. Like I said, this movie from top to bottom, Serenity, for the 2 hours that it brings you, it's entertaining as all heck. It's fantastic in the way that they deliver on the goods in this movie. That's pretty much what I have when it comes to this movie called Serenity. Came out 20 years ago yesterday, and I seen this at the theater, and I absolutely loved it. Those are my 10 reasons why I love this movie Serenity, and this has been episode number 40 of the Rock Out Wild Show. I'm going to leave you all with a quote, and it goes something like this. Remember, it's okay to reach out to the strong, silent types in your life. They may not always express their feelings openly, but they still need support and care. Take the time to check in on them, show them you care, and let them know you're there for them. Your kindness and understanding can make a world of difference to someone who may be quietly struggling. Your efforts to connect with them can strengthen your bond and bring comfort to both of you. Keep spreading love and positivity and watch how it brightens the lives of those around you. This has been episode number 40 of the Rock and World Show, and I am your host, Just Mike. On the final note to all of you watching, get plenty of rest, and always do your best.